Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about Dropboard and the workflow hiring processes that you can set up and customize. So under the Candidates tab at the top of your view, you can click on Workflows here on the left. Everyone gets the same default workflow that you can then customize to your needs, or you can create alternative workflows here. So let's jump straight into the default workflow and see how this works. So every stage of the workflow is ordered chronologically. So the first set of stages are called intake stages. This is where a candidate submits an application to a Dropboard and they come into your workflow. All candidates come into this stage here. We can add other stages if we like, if we want to segregate different candidates. In the evaluation stage, this is where you're going to be doing interviews and assessments. So we have a considering phase and an interview phase. We could have interview number 2. We could add more phases like that. Then we move on to the offer stages where we've decided that we do want a candidate. We need to finalize the deal. So maybe we're waiting to send the offer. We're kind of gathering materials, and then we've made an offer. The next stage is the accepted stage where a candidate has successfully gone through the workflow and we're ready to hire them. And the final set of stages is called the decline stages. These are when we're not interested in the candidate or the candidate is not interested in us. Every workflow must have at least one intake stage and one accepted stage and one decline stage, but everything else you can customize as you need to. Let's take a quick look and see how this looks from a candidate management perspective. So on our database, we're going to grab somebody here who's in our intake stage. The shortcut for that stage says we're going to go to not interested on the left if it's a thumbs down, and we're going to move them on to considering if it's a thumbs up. You can always move the candidate to a very specific stage if you want to do that, but these are shortcuts. So we move them to considering, and now they're in the considering phase. The default next stage is the interview phase, and so on and so forth. So back on the workflow management page, if you click edit on any of these stages, you will see the shortcuts here for next stage and decline stage. On all of our stages by default, the decline stage is the not interested stage. But on the offer made stage, the shortcut for that is offer declined, because if somebody gets to the offer made stage and then we want to thumbs down them, by default, it's likely that's because they declined our offer. So you can customize these however you like. The description that you give is internal only. It becomes tooltips for your team so they understand the stages as they're moving candidates through. So before we end this video, I want to create a new workflow to show you how to move candidates across different workflows. So we're going to create a different set of actions for our junior level hires. Maybe we have a different process for these folks. So we can customize this how we want to and give it whatever flavor we need to give it. And then back in our database, when we have somebody, we can move them to a different workflow by doing this. Currently today, everybody is going to come into that default workflow as they submit an application, but you're going to be able to customize this as Dropboard continues enhancing this feature set. So you'll be able to say, for this Dropboard, candidates go into this workflow, candidates go into that workflow. And more customization is going to come from there, where you're going to be able to say at any given stage, send an email to candidates who arrive at this stage or other actions that may follow after that. Coming soon is a board style view, which is going to show your candidates through the hiring process visually so you can move candidates through the stages very easily. So please stay tuned as our ATS features continue growing, and thanks for supporting Dropboard.